going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today seems like it could potentially be a very big one. So Samson Dauda posted a video of himself saying that he's taking himself to the hospital. He said he feels like his body has been, quote, shutting down over the past couple days. And based on the feedback that he gets from the hospital, that will determine whether or not he competes in the Arnold UK. I'm going to roll his clip for you guys right here so you can hear it straight from him.
I have to take myself to the hospital to get checked out because I don't know, my body is just, I'm trying to push through, I'm trying to train, I'm trying to get through it, but my body is just failing at this point. And honestly, I just don't know what else I could do. So given what happens to me in the next few days, after we get checked out in the hospital, and what happens and the results of that, it will determine if I will be doing the Arnold Classic UK next week. And I have to wait and see how that result comes back. And if I'll be able to proceed and carry on pushing my body to the limit that it is. So, you know, I'm really hoping that's not the case. I'm really hoping I can somehow carry this on and keep fighting, because that's all I've ever done all my life, is keep fighting against all odds. But when my health is starting to fail.
So he gives kind of a vague description of what's going on. He says he's been trying to train through it, but he feels like his body's shutting down. He doesn't say any specifics, if there's been any specific markers or health indicators that have also been declining. But if he feels bad enough that he thinks he needs to go to the hospital, I think he just should not even try to do the Arnold Classic UK, or not even try to finish that prep. I don't know, again, we don't know exactly what's happening, but him saying that he feels like his body is shutting down certainly seems like you shouldn't continue to push it. Your health is always going to be more important than any bodybuilding show. And I hope that Samson knows that the fans are still going to support him if he chooses not to do the show. They'd rather have him around and healthy and competing in the future than risking his health to compete at this Arnold Classic UK. So I really hope he doesn't do it if this is how he's feeling. I don't want him to feel pressured not to let the fans down, because I'm sure the fans understand, and nobody wants to see, obviously, anything bad happen to Samson. And by the way, we still don't know if Hadi Chupin is going to be able to do the Arnold Classic UK. Hani said that he still has to get all the visa stuff worked out. He said they would like to, but it's just a matter of the Iranian visa being a little bit more difficult to deal with than a regular visa, so they can't say 100% whether they're doing it or not yet. So there's a possibility that instead of seeing this rematch between Hadi and Samson, you might not see either one of them there, and instead we might have a new champion. And honestly, looking at this lineup, this could potentially really devastate this Arnold UK lineup, because if you look at the original lineup that they posted, you had Andrew Jacked, Neckzilla, Samson Dauda, and Hadi Chupin. I think all four of those guys, there's a potential, well, we know Andrew Jacked and Neckzilla are probably not doing it, but Hadi Chupin and Samson Dauda are still maybes. But let's just assume all four of those guys are out. You'd only have James Hollingshead, Akeem Williams, Antoine Vaillant, John De La Rosa, and Mo Shaban. So I guess that would put James and Akeem as the favorites to win if Samson and Hadi don't show up. And keep in mind, the UK Arnold is less than 2 weeks away. I believe less than 10 days now. So we'll find out very soon what happens, but definitely thoughts and prayers for Samson. I personally don't want to see him compete if he's having these type of fears about his health. And, you know, really, no matter what the doctor says, even if they come up with something inconclusive, if he's still feeling like this, even if they say there's technically nothing wrong, I just wouldn't want to see him risk it. Now, next up in the news, we finally got what we had been hoping to get from Tyler Mannion, the head judge of the IFBB, an explanation about the Arnold Classic, but not just about the Arnold, about Classic Physique specifically. And I think a lot of people wanted to see this because this was the biggest upset decision of the night. I think probably the most unexpected decision of the night. And I think with Ramon's fans especially, they had a lot of questions. So this was pretty interesting because I felt like, based on the description that Tyler Mannion gave here and the breakdown that he gave, it seemed like it wasn't really as close, at least in the morning, at prejudging, as we thought it was. because the final scorecard reflected a 1-point difference in decision, but Tyler did a pose-by-pose breakdown of Ramon versus Wesley, and he had it 4-1. Now, keep in mind, there's not as many poses in classic physique as there are in men's open bodybuilding, so that's why we're talking about less poses. So Tyler gave the front double bicep to Wesley, the side chest to Wesley, the back double bicep to Wesley, and the favorite classic pose to Wesley, and only the abs and thighs to Ramon Dino. Now, Tyler did specifically keep saying in the morning at prejudging was where Wesley looked the best and where he was measuring these poses, because that's where most of the judging was done.
Now, before we go into it, I think this is a good lesson for all competitors that you don't have to have the same structure as everybody else to win a show. As you know, Wesley's waist is definitely a little bit wider than Ramon's, than Chris's, than even, Urs and Breon. However, Wesley has now built up his shoulders and his width so much to compensate for that, where he has a very, very crazy shape and taper as well. So all shapes and sizes can come in and do very well in this classic physique division. And more complete than Wesley's. However, again, the conditioning compared from Wesley to Ramon, it was pretty differentiated, with Wesley being more conditioned and more separated. So 4-1 for me, Wesley took this from Ramon. I think for Wesley, the main focus for him is hamstrings and glutes to complete his physique for the Olympia. He needs to bring this trademark conditioning and fullness that he just brought to this show. I've judged Wesley quite a few times, and he has bounced around when he has not peaked right. He's done great, and he's done not so great. So this just shows you that we see what we see on the day of the show. It doesn't matter what happened previously. This guy was 7th at the Olympia, and he just beat the reigning Arnold Classic champion and reigning 2-time runner-up at the Olympia, because he made improvements with his physique and he nailed it on that day. When it comes to Ramon, I was able to find Ramon backstage and really work on him with his posing, because his posing holds him back big time. It doesn't matter who it's against, any of these guys. He's not posing to his potential. Finally, I got to work with him, and it's amazing just backstage after the finals what a difference changing some of his poses made to his physique. But also going forward, he needs to add the size back on that he had. He needs to add more density, especially to his back. That was one of his main focuses. Width and density to his back, but just overall the size and the separation that we saw him bring prior to this, he needs to get back to that level and exceed it if he wants to win and be contending to win for Mr. Olympia title.
And I do think it's fair to say that it was a lot closer at finals, which is why I think that Tyler kept making that distinction. I felt that Ramon tightened up and looked sharper at finals. I think his posing was a little bit better, because Tyler said he talked to him specifically after prejudging about his posing being just really, frankly, it sounds like pretty bad. The posing was what was holding Ramon back the most, according to Tyler here. And then Wesley's conditioning, I don't think, was as sharp at finals, which I would like to see a scorecard. If anybody has one, all I can find on the IFBB website is a scorecard with just the final score. I'd like to see the breakdown of prejudging versus finals, but maybe there isn't one, because like he said, it's more, like Tyler said, it's more heavily judged on prejudging and not really so much on finals. Finals are just kind of the confirmation. So maybe there's not 2 separate rounds of judging reflected on the scorecards. But for all the fans out there saying it was controversial, for all the Ramon fans saying he was robbed, honestly, the head judge saying his posing was that bad, and that the head judge had it 4 poses to 1 in favor of Wesley, sounds pretty decisive. Now, another thing that Tyler addresses here is the judging. So at these bigger shows, there's 11 judges, and at a show like the Arnold, they get rid of the 3 highest scores and the 3 lowest scores, and this is to eliminate bias. And he also talks about another controversial decision, I think, in Classic, was Urs beating Breon. I know a lot of people felt that Breon looked really good here, myself included, and Tyler even said he felt that Breon looked really good here and that it was a close decision. But he said with Breon, he felt like it really came down to his lower body. He makes a good point that as Breon has gotten older, it seems like his lower body has downsized, and that's typically, the legs are kind of the first thing to go when a bodybuilder starts competing into their mid to late 40s. And he made a good point, with classic physique, with there only being 5 poses and 3 of them are from the front where his legs look the smallest, it's something that does hurt him quite a bit. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this recap of classic physique. Now, the final story that I've got for you guys today is a reminder that we still have the Arnold Classic Brazil right around the corner, and one of the big names competing in that show is going to be GoodVito, Vitaly Ugonikov, and this is his latest physique update at just 4.5 weeks out from that show. So we've got the Arnold Classic UK coming up in about 2 weeks, and then about 2 weeks later, you've got the Brazil show. But GoodVito looks really impressive here. Keep in mind, you're also supposed to be seeing Carlos Thomas Jr. at this show, and also Rafael Brandao. And I believe we did get an update from Rafael right after the Arnold Classic. Him and Neil beginning his prep for the Arnold Classic South America, so that's why he's skipping and not doing the Arnold Classic UK. I believe his focus is to win the Arnold Classic in his home country in South America. But that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon, all that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick, Strength, and Power, signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.